What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast Media Day Edition! What's going on, y'all? I'm Pat. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Pat. Joining my guys, Big Dave Bow, BNWL Sports.
Strap it to my veins.
Will, the GOAT Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Our pal producer, Joey Spathis, is rocking with us. Our social media extraordinaire, Casey Standhart, rocking with us today.
Rocking them.
Coming to you from the Advocate Center.
Yeah.
Where Media Day just wrapped up. Hey, our friend Will Purdue is walking past right there.
Hello,
hi, buddy.
Will.
Oh, the photo bomb. There's nothing better than a Purdue photo bomb. Will, I know I owe you a phone call from yesterday. I missed a call. I'm sorry. I'll call you back.
That is a flex right there. Like, what is that?
Right.
Just going to flex that hard right
there? Took the words right out of my mouth.
What is that? Sorry, Will, I missed your call, Will. I was just busy and stuff. I'll call you back, four-time champion, Will Purdue.
He called me
flexing.
A lot of flexing going on today.
I mean, come on, man. Arms are heavy.
Lots to get into. Obviously, we heard from so many people today. Our Tourist Garden show is Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
Many of the Bulls players for this upcoming season. We will break down as much of it as we can. But first and foremost, can we just take a second to acknowledge how much Media Day feels like Bulls fan Christmas?
Yes, it is, man.
There's just everyone is here.
This is
like the official Bulls basketball is back.
Yeah, it's like Christmas and camp.
Yeah,
all
it's
in
like
one.
The first day of school.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Even better. Seeing all your friends, you know what I mean? Making new ones.
People got new outfits.
Yeah.
New backpacks.
Yeah.
New notebooks.
Everybody's ready.
Ready to learn.
Diamond earrings.
Stuff. Yeah, diamond earrings. Everybody flexing hard. Cool shoes. Everybody's shoe game. Like Joey pointed out, how everybody's shoe game is on point. Yes, it is very exciting. I also want to point out I'm very impressed that with Casey right now because I'm looking at her plate. All this food on her plate, and she's about to take that out. And Casey is like, she is not a big person. So the fact she's about to put that away is impressive. I am impressed, Casey. Kudos to you. Kudos
Shout out to the staff that provided media with some delicious eats today.
This is true.
I just inhaled a turkey sandwich.
It was a good sandwich.
2 bags of chips. I had 2 bags of chips. He finished that sandwich before I finished 2 bags of chips.
Not as quickly as you inhaled that Italian beef.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Oh, no, that was all-timer.
It wasn't dripping in beef gravy.
That was more of a
dripping
drink
in happiness.
than anything.
Yes, that was impressive as well. That man can eat.
Favorite thing / person you saw at Media Day right out of the gate, and then we'll start talking about interviews.
Favorite thing? Oh, man, favorite part. Well, seeing Bulldog. Yeah. Kevin Anderson was awesome.
Shout out to our
guy. Kendall Gill, seeing him. Jason Goff, seeing him.
Got to see Shanowski today.
Darnell Mayberry. Yes, Mark Shanowski. Like, seeing all those people and then those people actually knowing me, right, which still trips me out.
And not saying what the F are you
like, what are you guys doing here? Could you get out the way or could you give me some water? Something like that. No, they just like, hey, what's up? It's great to see you. It was awesome. Seeing Drew and, seeing those guys from the Bigs. Like, that was awesome. Seeing Josh from the Bigs, bro. Casey Johnson as well.
Got to see our pal Adam Amin.
Yes. Amin showed up just to show up. Like, he just showed up to show. Kyle. Being grown, CEO in training.
Right before we started, we got to say hi to our pal Zach LaVine.
Yes.
Called us some degenerates.
He did. Called us degenerates. His earrings.
In a loving way.
His earrings will blind you. Those things, man, are impressive.
Man.
The prism, like, it's just gleaming from the moon. You can see those things. It's impressive, man. I just really like how Zach just enjoys being rich. I really do. Like, he just be out there.
Must be nice.
It's subtle flexing. He's not flexing hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just real subtle. Like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool.
Nothing subtle about the sparkle on those diamonds. Nothing subtle about that.
But it was cool seeing DeMar, Ayo Dosunmu, seeing Ayo, coming up to us saying what's up. Like, that was cool. Javon Carter, who I really wanted to talk to. I had a chance to speak to him. That was really cool because I just know.
I saw you guys chatting.
Yeah,
a couple of BFFs.
Yeah, because I remember the last interview we did, just him talking about how much it meant to him and how it was going to be a big deal to put that jersey on. So I asked him, like, how did it feel, man? And he was just like, dude, nothing can stop you from smiling today.
Yeah, he gave a great little anecdote on the podium where he was saying, like, it's like building a player in 2K, putting Carter on the back of the jersey, wearing number 5, starting point guard for the Bulls. Like, yeah. I think that paints a good picture of what it actually feels like for him.
Yeah, man, and that's the stuff you want to remember and, like, take into consideration. Like, this stuff means stuff, you know what I'm saying, to these players out here. So, yeah, like, seeing all that, it just gets you hype. Just gets you seeing DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, there he is. He's
DeMar
right there.
DeRozan,
up,
bro.
DeMar?
You know what I'm saying? What's going on, sir? It's like it's DeMar here. Like, just stuff like that happening, bro. Like, it's just the coolest thing, man. So, It's just awesome, man. Just
That was very cool. I saw that coming from about a mile. I'm right next to the goat over. I saw that coming as he was. That was very cool.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So good in that road red jersey.
Oh, yes, man.
Damn, that looked clean.
I just saw game winners as soon as he walked by. That's all I saw. Because all I know is winning and game winners when he's got that jersey on.
Also,
hey Nick.
Maybe the quote of Media Day. I mean, there were some good ones. I also like a lot of Javon Carter's answers. But when somebody asked, and I can't remember who, asked DeMar, what makes you confident that this year is going to be different? Running things back, like results-wise, with this same core of players. Yeah. And he just stared confidently and said, "Third time's the charm." And I think there was a bit of tongue-in-cheekness to it.
Sure.
Yeah. I like how much DeMar enjoys Media Day, whereas maybe some players just see it as sort of an obligation to the job. DeMar generally seems to enjoy it, which is cool.
Yeah, like for guys like me, who's just Bulls fan, you know what I mean? Like just seeing this stuff just gets you excited and pumped for the season, man. Like this is the place for Media Day is the place for the optimism. Everybody's like Zach said, everybody's 0-0. Everything starts over. Everything starts anew. Everybody's chasing the championship and wants to accomplish those goals. And just hearing the players talk, and say those things, and even AK and Billy Donovan, who I thought had, a great interview. He had some great answers. He really did. But just seeing and hearing all those things, man, I was just ready to run through a wall. I'm like, dude, start the season. I am charged. I cannot wait to watch the Chicago Bulls, man.
When does your new job start, by the way?
Oh, positive affirmation liaison?
The job you were offered by Mark Eversley at Bulls Fest.
I saw Mark. I didn't get a chance to speak to him about it. We're going to talk. Maybe I can tell Will Perdue to call him. Maybe talk to him through Matt.
Yeah, hi, Mark.
And get him to call.
I haven't gotten any paperwork from Bulls HR yet. I don't know if it got lost in the mail.
We're going to work on it, man. But, the positive affirmation liaison will begin when the regular season starts. I will be in full effect. And you know what positive affirmation liaison, if you abbreviate, you know what it means? Pal.
Oh, wow. That's big Dave Watson.
Your
Bulls pal.
Your pal, baby. Positive affirmation liaison. Pal. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my God. You for sure need business cards to say that. Holy crap. All right, well, speaking of some of these Bulls head honchos, they kicked things off. It was Billy and Arturas at the podium together.
Yeah.
Reaction, what jumped out at you when they were answering their questions today from the media? I mean, obviously, the biggest question I think every media day is expectations/goals. And AK did speak to that, and the word playoffs was thrown out there. He kind of then spoke a bit more at length about it, and he also, I thought, interestingly, compared it to 2 years ago when he was explaining expectations, saying, hey, we put this group of players together. The expectation 2 years ago was making the playoffs. That's still the expectation. What did you make of that answer, Will?
I mean, I think they said all the right stuff, whether it was about the expectations and goals, whether it was about things they need to do differently, particularly on the offensive end, to try to juice this thing up and get out of the 24th area in offensive efficiency. I think they said all the right stuff, but when you come into a media day with largely the same group, with a lot of the same questions unanswered, I feel like a lot of it is just you got to wait and see what it actually looks like. And so as we get past this day, past those interviews, and start to look forward to tomorrow in Nashville, and then Sunday, a week from yesterday, 6 days from now, they're going to be playing a basketball game.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's like turning off-season mode into regular season mode, and now let's solve some problems. Let's actually see what this group looks like and see how they can address the things that they struggled with last year.
I know you said, and correctly said, they said all the right things. They really answered all the questions correctly. Was there anything that was said that kind of raised your eyebrow a little bit, whether it came from AK or Billy?
Well, I think, whether it's on purpose or not, I think a lot of what we've heard so far from AK in particular with regards to changing the team up, changing the shot profile, has been like an acknowledgement that we need to shoot more threes. But for him to come out and say, we need to move the ball more, we need to have motion, we need to play faster, we need to do all these things that we've seen that we can have success with when Lonzo was playing, obviously. For him to kind of specify what those things are, again, we need to actually wait and see how it looks on the court to make any real judgments. But I think just the acknowledgement that it's not just play better. It's play a little bit different. And I think that's going to be really important. I mean, that's what I wanted to hear coming into this. Not just we need to make more shots. Offense is going to work itself out. It's going to be okay. It's we actually have some problems that we need to solve, and we've got a decent idea so far of how to address them.
I thought what raised mine was when Billy, when he was talking about their main issues, the first thing I said was three-point shooting in my head. And he said scoring in the paint and getting to the free throw line. Like, he didn't even mention the three-point shooting.
Well, he did insofar as
in that answer. I'm saying
yeah,
he didn't
he said like it's with three-point shooting. It's not so much about just like jacking up a bunch of threes.
Sure.
With the ball movement, it's not so much just like passing it around the shell without any purpose. And I think the idea is you bring in some shooters, you can space out the floor a little bit more. You can reorient the way that Vooch operates, whether it's on the sort of the outer thirds of the court, from the elbow, from the block, whatever it is. You can reorient some of that to where there's more space on the court, to where Zach and DeMar can drive all the way downhill, draw fouls. That's going to be a key for offensive efficiency is foul drawing and then kicking it out. And what Billy said, which he said a lot last year, but I think is really true, is like creating the next advantage.
Sure.
It's not just like, driving to the paint, kick it out, stop, hold the ball, reset. It's attack a closeout, keep swinging it. You got to get the defense to collapse two people on one, and now you're playing with an advantage. And how can you keep that advantage alive until you get to the point where you get an open shot?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times last year the Bulls struggled with just keeping that advantage alive, creating open looks out of it, as opposed to what I said, which is DeMar, back it out. Everybody just wait for DeMar to create something.
Yeah.
And I think there's a time and place for that. I think especially late clock situations, that's what they're going to have to get into. But all this stuff that Billy's talking about as far as playing with more movement, playing with more pace, getting out in transition, moving the ball more, attacking closeouts, shooting threes when they're available, creating the advantage, and then playing to the next advantage. I think that's the recipe.
I did.
One of the other things I was interested to hear about is this blend of vets and young guys and who's playing where in their rotation. Not surprisingly, no concrete answer when Billy was asked about Patrick Williams specifically.
Yeah.
Because if y'all remember, when AK and Eversley were doing that interview on 670 last week, they were asking about the starting point guard position, and there was talk about that today as well. But basically saying, point guard, open competition at training camp. Right. We'll see what's what. Billy spoke at length about what he wants to see from Patrick this year, whilst also not saying definitively, yes, we plan on Patrick Williams being our starting power forward out of the gate this season. So maybe that is also an open competition come training camp. But as a part of his answer, I thought Billy kind of echoed something that AK and Eversley said in that 670 interview, which was that's going to be necessary as a magic part of the formula this season is some of those young guys, Patrick, Kobe, Ayo, developing and stepping up their games to a next level along with our vets who we know what we're getting from if we want to get better wins, losses wise this year.
And I think you're right. Like him saying that about Patrick Williams and just flat out not saying he's the starting point guard was another thing that kind of,
motivation.
It raised your eyebrow. I mean, of course he praised him.
Yeah.
Saying he's the integral part of the team, whether he was starting or coming off the bench. And then he said, a lot of people make a lot of stuff, out of starting role. And I said, uh-oh. When he said that, like, whoa. That sounds like definitely competition. Sounds like challenge, trying to light that fire under Patrick Williams to get him just where he needs to be, as a player, as the player we think he can be. So I'm sure Billy wants to get him that too, get him there as well. So him saying that, it wasn't surprising about the point guard competition. We all knew that.
Right.
I like how he said the guy who starts, the season might not be the guy who's starting throughout the season. It might change. We don't know. You know what I mean? He has to see what's going on. I love the honesty of that. Nothing's going to be a given, even if you're given this role. You're still going to have to prove it each and every single game, and I like that aspect of it.
I think when you're grown up playing basketball, it's all about the best players start. And, we've moved into an era where we talk about, what's the closing lineup? That's the best lineup.
Sure.
And I think we need answers for both of those things. But for me, it's less about, Patrick has established himself as the best player, so he must be out there. And maybe that's true, but for me it's more about, how do those guys complement Zach, DeMar, and Vooch? Because that's really what it comes down to. And I think Billy addressed that. Patrick is going to be an integral part of our rotation, whether he starts or not. I'm not saying he's not going to start, but he's going to get minutes. And if he does start, maybe we also try to shift him into some second units where he can sort of stretch out his game on the ball. And that's the biggest thing that, we didn't get a chance to talk with Patrick today. I was hoping that we could, because I wanted to ask him, how do you manage, how do you balance wanting to stretch and kind of show off what you can do with the ball in your hands creation-wise when you're also playing alongside guys that really dominate the ball a lot. So, how do you manage that? How do you grow in a role where, I think a lot of people are upset that Patrick doesn't have the ball more. A lot of people want DeMar to get off the court or play with the second unit so that Patrick can start and have more reps. I don't think that's the answer, but I do think the Bulls are thinking about ways that Patrick can do that. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
I agree.
Let's take our first break, and then we'll keep rolling right along, breaking down all these fun interviews from Bulls Media Day here at the Advocate Center. While we're taking this break, for our words from friends and sponsors, do us a simple favor, hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure you are subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Today's show from Bulls Media Day, how dope, brought to you by our friends at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Ray.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, we have some great news for you, because Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Fox Lake have just joined the CHGO team. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find some unforgettable savings. And right now, during the Ram Power Days at Ray CDJR,
Not the Power Days.
only in Fox Lake, Ram Power Days.
Ram Power Days?
Ram Power Days, Dave.
Vroom, vroom, dang it.
You'll be able to secure 0% financing or 17% off new Ram models. That's why it's called the Ram Power Days.
I got it now.
Ram models, Dave.
This is why who you are,
But
sir.
that's not all. Now through October 31st, explore their newly renovated showroom, Sparkling Floors.
Not the sparkling floor.
And take advantage of the limited time 7-year anniversary savings. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you've got to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, because they're the only team we recommend.
Yes.
Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, you can visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake, or to go to their website, raycdjr.com today. Serving the community since 1963. That's 3 years before the Bulls were even invented.
Ooh, that's a flex right there, Matt, with the history. I dig it. Got a text here. Baby Joey hit me up here.
Baby Joey?
Yeah, he said.
I didn't see Baby Joey at Media Day.
No, he wasn't here.
He wasn't here?
He wasn't here.
He's upstairs watching.
Yeah,
That's what I
if
heard.
he's here, he's going to be, in the
From
in
Krau-
the ether,
from
like,
Krau-
He's
chilling.
watching over his kingdom.
Yeah, that's how he rolls,
Watching from
man.
Krause's office.
Yeah. But he just told me, he said, tell DeMar don't be late for dinner. So I don't know what that means, but how Baby Joey do, man. That's how he do. It's a important child in this ether right here. So just
Got dinner
another
plans with
thing.
DeMar?
Yeah, just another thing I never understood.
Never understood.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why? We don't get it. Why these glasses got why? I don't get it. Matt don't get it. Will don't get it. Joey don't get it. Casey don't get it. I think I just scared her when I said that. But they don't understand, y'all, why these guys got to cost so much money. And Shady Rays don't get it, so they said I'll do something about it, y'all. Independent sunglasses company offering that world-class product just as good as any expensive pair you have ever put on your beautiful face. The durable frames, the extremely clear optics for your outdoor, and as this man is about to prove right over here at Bulls Media Day, your indoor Advenciones.
I'm
That's a
wearing
word to the
Shady
goat.
Rays in the Advocate Center.
Yes.
Maybe have never felt like more of a baller in my entire life.
And you look amazing.
Thank you, sir.
He looks awesome doing it, sir.
Most of the credit goes to the sunglasses.
Oh, but I know something that might not happen here. But
Listen.
if it does, it's available. It's the Matt Peck Lost and Broken Replacements plan.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let's say that anger happens, and he tosses that hat. Look at that. Still
Yeah.
tossed it. Ooh,
That's right.
Got a little long, too. I dig it. All right.
First time ever.
Went down there. Yeah,
hat
yeah.
toss in the Advocate Center,
In the
y'all.
Advocate Center. He had to do it. That was on the bucket list.
Had to.
It was on the bucket list.
Had to be done.
Had to be done.
Thanks, Joe.
I like how everybody knew immediately, right? Yeah. We get it. We know what's happening.
that was Peck.
Oh, yeah, that was Peck. Peck did that, yeah. Let's say those glasses
That's
were on
degenerate
there.
behavior, right?
Yes.
That's what that is.
Yes. Let's say those glasses were on that hat. They would have broken apart, went splat, and then Matt would have went drat. But then he remembered that he could put those back into an envelope, send them right on back to Shady Rays, and they would send him a brand new pair. No question asked. Oh. Or let's say you're sitting at home watching Media Day, and you watch the camera pan over to the GOAT, and you say, oh, there go the Quaff King doing his thing. I remember he had some glasses on one time. I would like those glasses. And then you realize you can't look like the Quaff King. But you can go to Shady Rays and get you another pair of glasses, and send the ones that you bought because you wanted to look like the GOAT, send those back in. They will send you the brand new pair, and as long as you do it within 30 days, it will be for free. great. Awesome, man. Also, Shady Rays, y'all, has the Shady Rays Impact. They are providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the United States, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventures of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. So, exclusively for the listeners out there, Shady Rays giving their best deal of the season. Go to ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code CHGO for 50% off of 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades.
Try it for yourself.
All the glasses that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Because it's Shady Rays, y'all. For the Rays are oh so shady. Joe, you didn't put no stank on that. I understand you in the media day, you don't want to be too loud on that. I get it. But we're degenerates over here. We're degenerates over here, bro. We go for it.
Joey's afraid of head turning.
I know. I tried for yourself. Yeah. Put a little opera on it, man. Pretty smooth. I dug it, though.
I feel it. I
understood.
I for sure glanced over there and I was like, okay, I got a clear hat throwing zone over there. I'm not going to accidentally hit someone with a flying hat at media day.
I like how you threw it on the ground and still ended up way down.
I mean, it got some extra juice once it made contact with the floor.
A little heat on that. Yeah. It's all good.
Okay, before we move on to player interviews, anything else that you guys wanted to make note of as far as what we heard from Billy Donovan and Arturas today?
No, I just agree with Will. Like, they all said the right thing, talking about their goals and what they wanted. They just seemed, I guess their language for me, body language for me, just felt a little more confident and maybe optimistic.
Yeah, they weren't afraid to state their goals.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to say like they were scared of that, but like I think I talked about this with Mark. I think like publicly stating something, yes, you'll be held accountable to it, but I also think that like you have to have those kind of goals for yourself.
Sure.
Especially if you want to like reach them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't set goals for yourself, then you don't know how to hold yourself accountable to them.
That's true.
So I appreciated that. Obviously, like I said, it's a hard thing to say given the way that I think fans and, generally people kind of held AK and this team accountable for that. But I think it's better that they do it than we do it for them.
Correct. I dig that. You're right. He was right because he was the GOAT. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy what they had to say. Like, it's not just so much saying the right thing, because everybody's going to say the right thing in media day, but they let you in a little bit, and they were honest in, what they were saying in their assessment. It didn't feel like just, regular speak. Like, they were really honest, like, well, yeah, he might not start. There's an open competition for that.
The only other thing with regards to AK, just like a couple things on like the roster construction front. One is the DeMar extensions. He didn't want to get into anything, and nor was he ever going to get into anything specific on that end. He said DeMar really loves it here. We really love him here, and he's been great for the last couple of years. And then DeMar kind of doubled down on that, just saying, I've got an agent. He handles that, and I tell him to leave me the hell alone. So
I did like that was a great answer
quote,
from DeMar.
The point is, we probably won't hear anything on that. Didn't hear anything about Patrick extension.
Right.
But just, I think, as we sort of look around the rest of this Eastern Conference landscape and the openness of it, obviously, like, they're not going to say, yeah, we're scared of Boston and Milwaukee. Javon Carter said, like, I don't care about that. I'm just a Chicago Bull.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's an element to that. But the one thing that I don't think anybody really got into was, like, if the teardown is off the table,
right,
which it is, and for justifiable reasons, was there any thought towards adding to this team? And that's not the kind of thing that these guys will like really get into. I mean, in theory, they can talk about it generally, but they're not going to give details or rumors or anything like that. That's not something that they're able to address. But that was the one thing that I don't think was really asked or answered, which was like, all right, they kind of brought it up actually with regards to the luxury tax. It's like, we can go into it.
Shout out to our guy Joe Cowley.
Shout out.
Coming in hot with the luxury tax question.
Oh my
He said, like, we're able to do it if we believe this is the group.
Yes.
And I think it's one of those questions, which is, do you go into it because you have the group, or do you go into it to get to that level as a group?
Yes.
And clearly it's the former.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that up, because obviously that's where I was going, if no one else did. The luxury tax question. Speaking of adding to this team, the specific quote, which you had in one of your tweets, Will, as the interviews were going down, Arturas saying, quote, we're going to go into the luxury tax if we're confirming this is the group. Mm-hmm. Once you have consistent success, we can go for it. And then also sort of confirmed, validated that Jerry and Michael Reinsdorf are of like mind.
Yes.
In that regard.
And I think so. One other thing, just I know people have talked about it, and a lot of you know, but like the Bulls do have the disabled player exception this year for Lonzo Ball, and they can use that to acquire a player whose salary is up to $10.2 million. Has to be the last year of their deal, so they can either buy someone out on the free agent market or make a trade for somebody who's at or below $10.2 million. So if we're talking about a team that is in the not just a race for the play-in, but like the race for the playoffs or home court in the playoffs, I think that's when you can start to really ask, is this going to happen? And if not, why? Yeah. Because now we're looking at a team that's like justifiable why you could spend it. For right now, it's like I don't necessarily blame them for not going into the tax. I think that there's a world where they should, just to get to that point. Like I said, you got to spend in order to get there.
Sure.
But I understand from their perspective why, they want proof of concept before they go past that threshold. Yeah. But I think we're going to find out a lot whether that's true come trade deadline when they are either in or outside of that position and have to make a decision on that regard.
And that's a real investor's mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to see the proof before you put your money into the business and say, fine, go ahead and go to work. So, yeah, you're right. I get the mentality.
All right, guys, let's shift and start talking about some of these player interviews we got today. Sure. Zach LaVine, right? Kicked us off. He was the first player interview. The answer he had about the Bucks and Celtics, two of the biggest teams, their toughest competition in the East coming into this year, making these bold moves right before the fresh season starts with the trades, Dame going to Milwaukee, and then Drew Holiday going to the Bucks, which happened yesterday?
Celtics.
To the Celtics.
When you walked out, it literally happened 3 minutes after you left the tailgate.
I know.
I turned around. I was like,
Will. Out on the train platform. Like, I got to rattle off some tweets,
I was like, where's Will?
I need
I was like, we got to talk to Will.
I need some takes.
But so Zach's answer to that essentially was everybody's 0-0 right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the right frame of mind to have. What did you think about that?
I thought you're right. It's what other mindset should you come in with? I love DeMar's mindset about it too. Like, dude, this is exactly where you want to be. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I want the competition. Like, I love people, as I said, I love people who are not scared of the ass whooping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, because you got to go in there to find out if you're going to take one or not. You can't just tell me I'm going to take one.
Yeah.
Let's go find out if I'm going to take one. And that's what competition is, and I like DeMar's mindset on that. Like, bro, I love it. Like, I want to play against the best. That's what we're here for. And he talked about that hunger, you know what I'm saying, having that and getting his teammates to that level as well. Like, no, bro, this is where we want to be. Again, third time's a charm. This plays into it. So getting those teammates where they are that hungry, where they want to beat these teams, where they want to have the best competition, where they want to go against these all pros and super teams and, stuff like that, because you want to find out where you are. So I loved his mentality of it. What Zach said is also the right thing to say as well. It's 0-0, man. Like, nothing's been proven yet. So I can't sit here and tell you, you know what I'm saying, what it is when I have no idea. It hasn't happened yet. So, like, I get that mentality too, man. But, yeah, it's a dope way to just see the two different mindsets of your two-star players right there.
And it's the difference between being a fan and a player, which is something I think, it's easy for people on the outside like ourselves to say, yeah, this team's not better than the Bucks. Like, that's not a hard thing to say. But these guys are so unbelievably confident in what they do. They believe that the work they put in will lead to results. And I think they have to buy into this message, because if they don't, then they're just going to be miserable. I get it. I mean, I think, these are going to be tough battles, but beyond those two teams, there is a lot of space. So even if you don't compete well against those teams, you can help yourself by taking care of the other teams that are on your level or below.
And the Bulls did have wins against both of those teams last season.
4-4 against the Bucks and
Celtics. Dame is a Buck now, Drew Holiday is not. Yeah. Drew Holiday is also a Celtic now, but similar versions of those teams, the Bulls did win against them last year at some point.
They did.
Will, you asked Zach about the whole, how do we improve this team offensively? And I was interested by his question. What did you think of his answer when you said, basically, as AK and Billy were just discussing, how do we improve the 24th ranked offense in the NBA, and how do you maybe – How are you partially responsible for that? How can the new guys help with that? What did you think of his answer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of the same thing with AK and Billy, which is like they have an idea of what they want to do. I think they clearly understand the problems. And like not to say that they wouldn't get it, but like just the fact that they put it on the record, I think is important when you're talking about like the media asking questions. Like it's important to get these things on record. And so I like that these guys were just able to say like, yeah, we did some stuff well. We didn't turn the ball over. We shot well in terms of effective field goal, but we didn't get to the free throw line, and we needed to do that. We did an offensive rebound, and we needed to do that. So I think they have an understanding of the way that they want to sort of tweak their offense. But what I like from both Zach and everybody else that talked was it's not we just need to play better. The shots just need to go in.
Yeah.
Because they were third in field goal percentage last year. The shots went in, but they still had the 24th offense. So there's a disconnect there, and I think they're, whether it's willing or they understand that they need to just like get below the surface and try to figure out what those issues are so that they can address them. And this year, hopefully it's not, well, this isn't working, so let's just DeMar, go. Because I think at times they tried to get into that unpredictability, that randomness that they talked about. And when that didn't work, it was default to what we know does work.
Right.
And what we know does work is DeMar isolation, Zach pick and roll in isolation. Like those guys are so good at what they do that sometimes it almost hurts the team because they're able to default to something, even if it doesn't necessarily result in like the betterment of the team offense.
And I think it's okay to default to something when you're in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
Even
when
like the final, like you go through an action or a set of an offense, and if you can't get anything out of it, then you go to something.
Right.
And it's not just like, I was rewatching a bunch of games from the second half of last year, even when their offense was around 15th, and a lot of it was like DeMar grabs the rebound, runs up, isolation on the right side, backs down, gets into a jump shot, and like. That's efficient offense in the sense that he's good at those shots, but there's not energy in the ball. There's not energy in the team's offense. There's not like breath.
Yes.
And I think they recognize that they need to do more to sort of incorporate everybody and make it more of a motion and movement oriented thing. And if that doesn't work, then you start to go to what does work.
And that's what I'm saying. Like throughout your first, second, and third quarters, it should be that. Like the ball should be moving. You shouldn't be defaulting that early in your offense. Like the default should come in that fourth when you're like, okay, it's a 2-point game. It's time to get my big dogs the basketball. Where do you want it? How do you like it?
It's like that classic, Derrick Rose used to say there's so many other people have operated this way, but it's like first 3 quarters,
hi, Mark Shanowski.
Mark Shanowski, yo. It's Mark Shanowski.
This is our friend Mark.
Yeah, come on in, Mark.
Pre-record.
You can say what's up. It's all good.
Come wave to our fellow Bulls fans.
Come wave to Mark Shanowski because we know him.
This guy.
I know Mark Shanowski, man. He actually likes us.
Mark, I got to tell you, when you asked, who was he asking a question to, Zach or DeMar? One of the first ones.
Okay.
You asked a question, and Big Dave just leaned in and whispered to me, man, that guy's a pro.
He's so good. And Matt was like,
knows how to
his
ask
hair
questions.
is perfect. Matt was like, his hair is perfect. Like, it's true. All of it is true. It's Mark Shanowski.
It's the man who asked Derrick Rose the question that led to the why can't I be MVP answer.
That's it. This man.
Bulls legend right here.
It shows every once in a while. Yes. It shows every once in a while. Thank you, Mark, man.
Don't work too hard, all right?
Appreciate you, Mark.
You're welcome anytime.
That's Mark Shanowski. It's Mark Shanowski. Sorry, Will. That's Mark Shanowski.
That's a face made for news.
I mean, are you kidding me?
That is.
And he's funny and he's smart and all that other cool stuff.
And he's our friend.
He likes us.
Wild.
It's wild business,
okay, so as we shift from Zach to DeMar being at the podium, I thought worth mentioning that both guys were asked the question after the USA falls short at FIBA World Cup.
Hold on, there's another one.
Callie, you're behind the camera. Get over here, Joe.
Callie.
What's up, young Joe?
What up, Joe?
How are you, sir?
Joe Callie.
Young Joe Callie.
As we said, Bulls
doing what he do.
Everybody's here. USA just failed to finish top 3 at the FIBA World Cup, and then that prompted LeBron, even though he was already planning it before that. I'm going to get a super team for USA together for the Olympics.
Did you hear the hate in his
It might be Bulls Media Day, and we have a lot of things to talk about, but if I can get some LeBron shade in, I'm going. Come on now.
Go ahead.
You know the drill.
I do. Go ahead, bro.
Zach and DeMar, 2 people who have experience playing for Team USA, both asked and both said, basically, hell yeah, I'll play.
Yeah.
So we'll see if either of them warrant an invitation from the LeBron assembling a super team Avengers style. But both said that they would be happy to play for.
Last time you got to go,
USA.
Zach was on the squad.
Why not add another gold medal to your trophy case?
It's a fact.
And then, speaking of the Bucks and Celtics making moves, DeMar saying, "I love it."
Yes.
When he was asked his opinion of that. That is the kind of, as a Bulls fan, want to run through a brick wall right now kind of stuff that you get from Media Day.
Yeah, seriously. You're like, you damn right, DeMar DeRozan. You are damn right. I ain't scared of nobody. Put them on. Bring them in. This is who we want to play. That's the mentality. I talk about that a lot. Just that kind of mentality you're supposed to have when you're walking into it, man. It's that irrational confidence that you have to have. It doesn't matter if nobody else believes. It matters if you believe it. Do you believe it? Do your teammates believe it? Because that's going to go a long way when you walk on that floor, man. When you play, because you're going to have it playing against freaking Dame Lillard and Giannis, bro. Like, you're going to have that. So hearing that he has that and that's your leader, yes, I'm with it.
But also, like, I mean, obviously this is going to be the case, but, like, the priority for for everything right now is figuring out this team, figuring out how to win with this group. So I think, we there's like the thing about, guys when they come back from Team USA, they always take that leap. And so it'd be great to eventually see that. But these guys, I mean, they've done it before, both of them. Yeah. And I think they'd be great on that team if there's space for them. It's going to be a tough competition to get on that roster.
It is. No, especially if guys are really vibing for it. Like, all the best are really like, no, I want to play. It's going to be a competition, bro. Seriously.
For sure. Will, you touched on earlier DeMar's response about extension talks and saying, hey, that's not my job. It's my agent's job. I'm not worried about that. So we'll see what happens there. But clearly that's nowhere near the front of DeMar's mind coming into this season. He's focused on winning games, which you like to hear. Maybe a bit of a pleasant surprise is that we also got a Lonzo Ball signing at Media Day, gentlemen. Yes. Nice to see Lonzo in the building, talking about not only his rehab process, but still wanting to do whatever he can to be there for his teammates, at various points throughout the season. Will, what did you think of him kind of asking or answering a question about the Bulls point guard situation without him right now and how they might be able to improve their half-court offensive sets and lending a sounding board or any advice or help that he might be able to his teammates who are going to be taking turns running the point this year?
I think so much of it is just based on, what your skill set is. And Lonzo is built perfectly to be the guy that connects all those pieces, that connective tissue with Zach, DeMar, and Vooch. And obviously, like, just getting another point guard in there is not going to replace that. I think we've seen that for the last couple of years. Yeah. But what I think he said and what Vooch was talking about, that each of these guys bring different things that's going to help them in different ways. Yeah. So maybe Javon comes in and, he's able to pull up in transition for three, and that really helps the Bulls win a quarter. Or maybe Ayo comes in and, he's really developed his on-ball point of attack defense, and he can generate some steals that lead to transition baskets. All three of these guys, I think, Kobe being the third, are going to have time to work with that group. I think that's going to be something that they work on over training camp, preseason, and even into the regular season of just like finding what works. And I think it's going to be focused on specifically Zach, DeMar, and Vooch, those three stars that, what complements them the best. So I'm not sure, like, Lonzo can, give advice, be a sounding board. He said he's going to be around back and forth. Obviously, his rehab is in LA, but he wants to spend some time with the team. Not sure if he'll be in Nashville, but I imagine that's why he came here. So we'll see about that. But, there's only so much he can do from the sidelines, but I think it's just good to see people are thinking about it. Kobe was thinking about it. Javon was thinking about it. Zach, DeMar, and Vooch were thinking about it. AK was clearly thinking about it. It's like trying to solve that problem is a big one. And the thing that Vooch said that I think was really critical here is something that we've all kind of touched on in the past is not having that weight on your shoulder of, well, maybe Lonzo will come back, and once that happens, we'll be good. So they know starting this season, Lonzo is not going to be playing.
Not playing.
And they now come into the season with a game plan of not we'll do this until Lonzo gets back. Right. It's we're going to do this. This is going to be who we are. So I think that just takes a weight off their shoulders, and it allows them to play a little bit more freely with the pieces they actually have, as opposed to holding out hope and waiting and playing maybe a little bit more tensely, waiting for him to come back.
Yeah. It was just really good seeing him.
Great to see him.
Just seeing that.
First time so obviously started when CHGO launched in March of 21, right? 21? 22. And Lonzo was already hurt at that point. So that was the first time I've been with Lonzo at a press conference.
That's awesome,
crazy.
Man. That's awesome. But But yeah, like just seeing him, and in that Bulls uniform too.
Yeah,
just seeing him in that,
it was great.
Just really great.
He was sitting over here
see.
for his turn. All the players, one at a time take their, official photos for various media and press stuff. And he was just sitting in one of the chairs waiting for his turn. And Billy came up from behind him and sneak attack hugged him.
Yes, he did.
It was half hug, half choker hold.
Right.
But it was really nice to just see that moment between those two because, you got to assume that Billy, his heart just breaks for Lonzo.
Yeah.
And he's obviously still rooting for him in his rehab
Billy
process.
Billy is a player's coach.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, that
he
kind of
just
stuff.
has such good relationships with these guys.
Yeah.
And you see that all the time, whether it's, in summer league in the tunnels, he'll catch up with the old players. He's really great with all these guys.
Yeah, and it was great. And just hearing Lonzo's, answers, reassuring, like when they asked him, when you come back, is it basically going to be for the Bulls? And he's like, yeah, that's the goal. That's what we're looking for. Like, I want to play here. I wanted
to see if he could do 10 stand-ups, one-legged stand-ups.
I mean,
I
wanted to see him do it next to watching Joey also do it because Joey started doing him in the middle of one of our shows last week.
He did.
From his producer's
There he is
chair.
again. Look at him. Look at him, ladies and gents.
I mean, my money would have been on Lonzo.
Oh, yeah, every day.
As far as his squats being more impressive.
Yeah, you put your money on the athlete even if he's injured.
Yeah. There's a weight room right here.
I mean, go to work. Go ahead, Joe. We'll film you. Go ahead, man. I believe in you.
Can we please get some footage of Joey using the Bulls team workout equipment?
That has lawsuit written all over it.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Never allowed back in the building.
Never again.
Let's take our second break. We'll come back. Still more thoughts from Vooch, who we also heard from today. Javon Carter, Bulls newcomer, who we heard from today, and more. Hit that thumbs up while we're reading these ads. If you didn't do it the first time around, make sure you subscribe to CHGO Sports on the YouTube channel. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Still depressed about the Bears game on Sunday?
Same.
Yeah, I am. How are you doing on that?
I'm better. I'm better? I gave Braggs a hug, so I'm
I
better.
did. I saw. Yeah. I watched basically the entire CHGO Bears post game yesterday, and shout out to those guys. They did like a 2.5 hour long post game yesterday. Man. After that,
like 4,000 viewers.
Hellish nightmare-scape of a Bears game.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
But tough.
My day looked up a little bit Sunday late afternoon, and I had myself a couple of gummies that I got from Sunnyside, and then things were looking up. Sunnyside's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of their high-quality products. They offer easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Bada bing, bada boom. Order it online, order on your phone, go to the store, pick up your order, get on your merry way. Continuing knocking out those errands, adulting like a boss. Do it at Sunnyside. They've got flour for you old school people like me. They've got tinctures, they've got vapes, they've got all that good jazz. Plus, of course, as I mentioned, a wide variety of different branded edibles. Take your pick. They're all great. And now through October 15th, head to sunnyside.shop to make that pre-order to pick up in store. Use promo code CHGO25 when you do at checkout. You're getting 25% off your order. That is 1/4 for you fraction people out there.
Oh, a lot of those.
You like percentages, you like fractions, you like decimals. 0.25%.
That's right.
Off your order with the promo code CHGO25 at checkout. One use per customer, not stackable with their other promotions and coupons, but it's not just for first-time customers. Anyone and everyone can use that promo code CHGO25 at checkout. Sunnyside.shop, promo code CHGO25. Must be 21 and over or an Illinois Med card holder.
You know what else goes good with that Sunnyside?
Beer.
Thank you very much for this.
Honk, honk.
Oh, you see, if you had the Hong Kong ready, it would have been perfect on that, man. It would be like beer.
First of all, I didn't play it, but even if I did, you wouldn't have known because I could have played it just now. You wouldn't have even known. There's no monitor.
I still don't hear anything.
Honk, honk.
Will, can we get a quack quack to go along with
it? New season, new me.
Same us.
Definitely same you guys.
Same degenerates.
Oh, man. The Goose Island Beer Company, y'all. Supporting CHGO supported by the Goose Island Beer Company, and they've been Chicago's beer since the Jordan year. That's 88, ladies and gents. Of course, you already know the roster, man, the Beer Hub family, the 312 Wheat Ale, the Big Dave and Matt Peck favorite, the Full Pocket Pilsner. But since the weather is changing, and since it is now big man summer, and you can put on a hoodie and some shorts, or you the option whether you can rock a t-shirt and shorts, whatever you feel. Put some jeans on too. You can still have your Birks, however you want to do it. It's option weather out there. That means it's time for Oktoberfest beer. And you can find the finest Oktoberfest beer at the Goose Island Beer Company. So grab that ultra fresh exclusive beers at the Goose Island Original Brew House on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in West Town. It's the Goose Island Beer Company, y'all. Chicago's beer, the true taste of Chicago. You know, I forgot to say this. I forgot to say this earlier, man, because you were talking about people we saw and we met.
Yeah.
And I forgot to say this because Will didn't see this happen.
What?
But Will, can you guess who I became best friends with today?
There's just the possibilities are limited.
They are.
The answer, by the way, is everyone.
Yes, well, that's fair.
Okay, just tell me I'm stumped.
My main man, Mr. Michael Reinsdorf.
Okay.
That became
That was
my
actually
guy
that was
today.
going to be my first guess.
That
but
became my guy, man. We had great conversation today.
What did you guys
hanging
talk
out. We talked about food. Then we talked about the upcoming season, you know, how he kind of felt about it, you know what I mean, how I felt about it, you know, the moves that were made and stuff like that. So, yeah, we talked for a minute, man.
Anything juicy?
Couple of nice things he said.
All right, we'll
you know
keep
what I'm
it off
saying?
the
A
record.
couple of
We'll
nice
keep it off
things
the
he said, you know, but you know, it's between me and my guy Mike, Big Mike, I'm gonna call him. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna keep that. It was funny because Joe was like, dude, how do you know him? And I was like,
I know everyone.
I said hello. That's how it goes. You say hi, and people generate. But that's my main man right there. Shout out to my man, Michael Reinsdorf.
Actually,
By the way,
he said hi to you. He came up to you and said, "I like your hat."
Yes.
That's why I thought you knew him, because you didn't
And I
even
told him-
say anything. He just was like, "Hey,
Oh,
I like your
no.
hat."
When he walked by, I stuck my hand. I was like, hey.
Got it.
And I shook his hand
Yeah.
and everything. And then he hit me with the hat, and I told him I loved his shoes. And, you know, then we went on from there. You know, and then Matt just stood
I was
there.
standing on the other side of Dave while Dave had a conversation
Matt.
with Michael Reinsdorf.
Teething.
Did not participate. Not for any particular reason.
No, it was so funny. And I told Matt, I was like, hey, Matt, you see who I was talking to? Yes.
Yeah, sure
yes,
did.
I saw it.
Sure did.
Yes, I saw it. Oh, man. It's my guy.
Hashtag no comment.
Shout out to him. Shout out.
All right, let's touch on Vooch real quick. Said that he was excited about the new contract to remain in Chicago, the new 3-year deal.
Yeah.
I like the way that he phrased his answer on the why did you want to come back and not. And he said the whole, you know, like family stability is good here. We love living in Chicago, but from a team standpoint, he said because Callie
was my
asked a
favorite quote of the
follow
day.
up, I think. On, well, okay, like from a Bulls basketball perspective, not just money and family, but why did you want to come back and play on this team again this season on a new contract? And Vooch said there was a lot of work undone. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, Vooch, that's a damn good answer because you're right.
Yeah.
This is a team that had playoff aspirations for the last 2 years, and you have one, 5-game loss in round one and one play-in tournament loss to show for it. That certainly qualifies as unfinished business from where I'm sitting, especially when you think about the veteran talent, including Vooch, that this team has assembled.
Yeah, and I like that answer because it just shows the competitive nature of Vooch as well. You know, he like wanting to come back and finish, a task that he started. Most players are just, if it ain't working, they'll just leave.
Yeah.
Say forget it. And he had that option. Like there was no strings on him, bro.
Yeah.
Like he really had that option. But hearing him say that, or especially him talking about how much he likes Chicago, and being here. Because like I said before, when I talked to Kendall Gill, he told me it's money and it's comfort. Those are the two important things when you're talking to a free agent. So just to hear his comfort here in Chicago, I'm sure played into that as well. But, yeah, just hearing the unfinished business, knowing that he wants to help himself, improving his role and what he can do with this team. Like, it's just like, yes, this is the stuff you want to hear. You want people who want to be here,
right.
And that's rare stuff, because we haven't gotten those kind of free agents here in Chicago. Even the ones we've gotten, they're like, okay, time to go. Let's get out of here. So for him to come in the trade and then still say, no, I want to come back because I feel like we didn't do what we set out to do. So let's finish this up. I like hearing things like that.
Yeah, Vooch was probably by far my favorite interview of the day. I thought he addressed everything as well as he possibly could have. It starts with what you said, which is we basically left stuff on the table, and I'm not okay with that. I want to come back and try to answer some of those questions. He said, maybe we don't do it, but I'm not just giving up on it.
Right.
And I really appreciated that. I also thought the way that, I asked this question to several different people of, do you need to do things better on offense or do you need to change stuff stylistically? And he basically got right into, like, I think, there's a time and a place for me to be a spot-up shooter. I can do that. It's a part of my game, but it's not the most comfortable for me.
Right.
And I think you see teams around the league, whether it's Jokic or Bam, he name-dropped both of those guys, as far as, offensive hubs that you can play through, that you can run DHOs through.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at bringing him back, obviously the money is a big one, the stability is a big one, but it seems like he had conversations with Billy and with AK about what his role is going to look like specifically on offense and trying to, adjust that a little bit more closer to what it was in Orlando. And I think that has the potential to really give the Bulls success. Like, imagine Zach coming off screens and dribble handoffs from Vooch, being able to pull up or letting Vooch roll and then make the short roll pass out of it. I mean, I think that there's a lot of untapped offensive potential that playing through Vooch can lead to. And I'm really excited to see them hopefully put that to work, because I really do think that's probably step one in how can we make this thing work a little bit better.
Javon Carter also spoke at the podium today.
Shout out.
After becoming best friend. Dave's other new best friend today.
Yeah, you didn't see that part either.
Javon Carter.
Oh, I saw videos of it. Don't worry. Okay. It's on the internet.
Also, like,
don't worry, Dave.
Also, like DeMar asked about the big moves Boston and Milwaukee both just made in the past week. And like DeMar's answer, I also loved Javon's, which was, I don't care.
Right.
I'm a Chicago Bull, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think my even more favorite answer, or my favorite part of Javon speaking today with the media, when he was asked about vocal leadership on this team. And Dave, you've talked about how, as another Chicago guy who also has that sort of like doesn't take no crap from nobody kind of persona among his NBA peers, and the fact that this Bulls team, while talented, is maybe lacking a bit in that department. Need some goonage.
Yes.
You need some vocal leadership from somebody.
Yes.
And Javon, when asked about that, his answer was a firm yes. He said, I got this from one of your tweets, Goat.
Lex.
Quote, I can say I will be a vocal leader on this team. I'm going to voice my opinion. Good.
He said,
that was my thought. Good.
It's that Chicago chip on your shoulder. Like he said, you saw with Pat Bev last year. There's stuff I want to work on and how I deliver it, but like I'm not afraid to voice my opinion and to be a vocal leader, and that's something he wants to work on, but also something that I think he can step in and be good at right away. And something this team needs. I mean, we talked about it with Adam when he came on our show of like the lack of communication on the defensive end. I just think that you need guys like that. There's like quiet and lead by example kind of personalities in Billy and Zach and DeMar and Vooch. And as good and talented as those guys are individually, you need somebody that's going to like bring everything together.
Correct.
And I think, a lot of the times that somebody else has to step up and be that important, lead in that important way.
Yeah.
Caruso does it from the sidelines. He's obviously a big talker on the floor, but just getting more of those guys that can help hold each other accountable and not just let the team slip into the things that are easy.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be really important, and just like, you have to buy into the system, into the process, and you have to have guys that are going to make sure that that's going to be the case. Because if everybody's on their own, if everybody's just, this isn't working, let's go back to the old thing that worked. I just don't see how you're going to improve that way.
Yeah.
They seem committed to improvement, and I think a guy like Javon, Torrey Craig, who I think is going to be the same kind of vocal leader, I just think that does so much for this group.
Yeah, and DeMar also, when you talked about Torrey Craig, I love what he had to say about Torrey Craig as well. When he talked about, just, again, happy to have him on the team. He was like, because I hate to play against him. He was like, he was annoying. For one, he wore 2 different shoes. For 2, he was just a great defender. So he was just happy to have him here on the team. So just hearing like guys like Torrey Craig and, hearing what Javon Carter had to say and knowing those were the 2 big pickups, what I'm saying, for the Bulls, and how highly other teammates are speaking about them. And then just hearing Javon, like you're saying, wanting to be that vocal leader, for the Chicago Bulls out there, because they need one, you know. And I didn't care where it came from. I knew it. I knew Dalen Terry had that stuff in him, but, the dude's like 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going to really come from him like that. You needed a more veteran kind of guy. And what better guy to have than a dude straight, a West Side hooper that knows what it feels like and what it means to put on that uniform.
And he's earned it himself. He came up in a non-traditional way. He was not a high recruit. He was not like a big-time college player.
Correct.
Played at West Virginia. He's been at multiple different stops in the NBA, but he finally carved out a role for himself last year, and he said, I got a chance to be me. And I think he's going to have that chance again here.
Without question.
Where they just need, and we kind of talked about the point guard by committee stuff, but they need somebody to step into that role, and each of those guys is going to give you something different. With Kobe, you get the shooting, you get the floor spacing. I think he really developed as somebody who can get into the paint and create plays. But with Javon, it's going to be that leadership, and it's going to be that hunting three-point shots.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of people that are frustrated that the Bulls weren't in the Dame or Drew Holiday sweepstakes. I think that's justified. But Javon and Torrey Craig are like easy base hits, maybe doubles as far as free agents go. And I think that can just help with the inertia of just getting things going and getting some positive momentum going to where, you're not just one step forward with a good win and then a 50-point loss to Minnesota.
Right.
You have to stack these things together, and I think that's true for free agents and trades too. You got to just keep on hitting singles, and hopefully you start to drive in some runs.
That's a great analogy, man, because it feels like some of the Bulls would just be swinging for home runs
or just trying to take walks, which is fine too. But
cool,
sometimes you need to, take a swing and take a risk.
Yes,
an analogy that's less painful now that the Cubs and Sox seasons are both officially over.
Oh man,
moving past that.
Woof.
What's a woof?
Shout out Cody. Shout out Herb.
Man.
Shout out Sean.
Tough seasons for them.
Oh.
Man, there was something perfectly timed about this being Bulls Media Day today, and that yesterday Bears fans officially were just like, okay, I give up. We're 0-4, and that happened a day after the Cubs and Sox officially finished. Actually, no, the White Sox also played their final game yesterday.
When the extra innings.
So MLB baseball finished yesterday. Bears go to 0-4 yesterday, and today it's like Bulls Media Day. Oh, please,
help is all we need. Help them. So
shout out also to our CHGO Blackhawks crew. Rocking those preseason post games,
doing that thing.
There's some true excitement going on there.
Some great shows, bro.
Real quick before we get out of here, we got to get out of their hair because they're breaking down the Advocate Center.
Yes.
Kobe White, last person we heard from at the podium. Yeah. Most importantly, his teammate Patrick Williams asked him about his hairdo plans for the season.
Yes.
And he said he thought he was going to, at least out of the gate, rock the young Kobe look.
Go back to his roots.
And, man, that fro was looking great today.
Oh, the bounce.
Great.
The bounce in that fro was amazing.
Which, Big Dave, you have the theory that when his hair is free-flowing like that, he draws more fouls when he's going to the rim.
Yeah.
Because there's more moving body.
More movement of the hair.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the truth. All right. When there's more movement of the hair, you get when you throw your head back and you see that hair bouncing, it looks like you're getting hit harder, and he gets more foul calls and gets to the line. I'm telling you, go look at the numbers from his rookie season to the next season to the next season, and you can see the hair trend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying on there, dog. Like, it's just like that because he's big enough to get there and draw that contact. But he wasn't getting those calls, you know what I'm saying, like that. I think with the hair out like that, getting in there, seeing it bounce in the wind, looking amazing, he's going to get more foul calls, man. Book it.
Did it seem to you, Will, like Kobe was in, the right frame of mind talking about competing for this starting point guard job?
It did in the sense that the first thing he said was life-changing money. I love that for Kobe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, he said he kind of learned to embrace and love the chaos of not knowing what his role was year to year or game to game.
Yeah.
Where was he going to be the spark plug scorer off the bench? Was he going to be asked to be the main facilitator with the starting group? I think he's got a little bit of everything in his game now, and that kind of sets him up. But he did also kind of say, like, I want to have a little bit more secure of a role. And I think this contract helps him get towards that. But I think also just like the maturity and adding some leadership elements to his game. I think he's in for a really big year. I think he's going to find ways to really help this team, whether it's starting or coming off the bench, whatever it is. Like, it's the same thing that Billy said with Patrick, which is like he's going to have an integral role in this lineup, in this team. He's going to play a lot of minutes, whether it's with the starters, whether it's with the bench, who knows. He's going to play with both of them, but like he gives you an element that you don't get from anyone else. And he's just proven over the last year that he's really able to get to that level to where, you can be playing in the last couple minutes of a playing game against the Miami Heat and looking like a legitimate, stud out there.
Yeah, it's true.
We should probably wrap up there.
Let me ask you guys one quick question before I go, because me and Joey and I were talking about. I was asking him this question of the new young guys that are on this team.
Yeah.
Who is the one guys that you're going to be looking at the most, that you're going to be looking at, even going into this preseason?
Of the young guys?
The new young guys. You know, the Phillips, the Snogo, you know what I'm saying, Carly Jones, Julian Phillips, you know.
Man, I got to say.
Lewis, Justin Lewis.
Justin Lewis, who was here today.
Yes.
But you know who took my breath away today? And we saw him out in Vegas for Summer League, but I forgot. Adama Sanogo.
It's a big boy.
The frame on that man's body.
That is a big boy.
Holy bejesus. That's a big dude. His shoulders.
Yeah.
Like the mounds of his shoulders are twice the size of my head.
Yeah.
I don't know if that math checks out, but it feels like it does.
Bulls math, it works.
Damn.
It works.
Yeah. Of the newer crop of young guys, let me see some Sanogo in these preseason games.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, I want to see what he can do for sure. I think when you look at who's actually on the roster, so Justin Lewis, obviously, I'm a fan of his. I want to see him do well.
Yeah.
Carly has really just been amazing in the G League.
He played very well.
He's on a regular roster spot now, but as far as guys that are going to have real opportunities to step in, I think Sanogo and Justin Lewis and the team are going to be mostly in the G League, right? On two ways. So I want to see Julian Phillips. Can he develop a jump shot? Can he find a way to scratch and claw his way into a rotation that really needs defense, that really needs shooting and athleticism? And he's got all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's how quickly can he put it together, and how quickly can he can those skill sets really start to help enhance the guys around him?
Yeah, Lewis for me, because I just can't want to see, can he be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Because there is literally a role for him on this team, especially when Billy talked about rebounding and things like that. There is a role for him, so he just has to be healthy enough to go out and take it.
We were so excited to see him play again at Summer League this year after getting introduced to him at Summer League 2 years ago, when he goes down with an injury. And then he goes down with an injury again in Summer League this year. Hoping nothing but the best for Justin Lewis in his process. That's going to do it for us from the Advocate Center Bulls Media Day special episode. We have episodes coming for y'all all throughout this coming week, which is training camp week. Training camp starts, first practice down in Nashville tomorrow.
Goat's going.
The Goat, you got a Crack-a-Dawn flight?
It's our
Crack-a-Dawn flight.
Jason Golf.
Hey,
making a last-second photo of
right here.
Look at this watch.
Look at this suit,
and our man Tony Gill.
This is insane.
Wow.
Come on,
when are we going to do a crossover episode? When are we going to do a crossover episode?
Loud, bro. We down.
That's why I'm asking for it.
We are down. We down.
That is not what I said.
Why don't
you partners? Yes, exactly, man.
I feel like we all need to be holding different odd weapons right now, like Anchorman style. Oh, and our pal Kendall Gill.
Come on, man. Look at this suit, dog.
He dropping preseason dimes already?
This man cleaner than the Board of Health, man. Come on, man. It's insane.
We're friends with a lot of well-dressed people. I just
we gotta get more suits.
Just don't happen to be some of them.
Yeah, we just don't happen to be one of them.
Definitely not.
That's all.
Before we get out of here, wanted to make a sincere thank you to Beth, to Josh, to everybody at Bulls PR.
Thank you.
For letting us be here and do this from the Advocate Center today, be a part of Media Day. And, we got to go. We got to go.
We got to go.
Right, we're going to go.
We're going, Joe.
Thanks also to the Bulls support staff who was here running everything today. It was great.
Thank you.
More shows on the way. Will's got a flight to Nashville bright and early tomorrow morning. 2 p.m. Chicago time show Tuesday after the Bulls' first training camp practice. We'll see you then. Bulls Peck. Bow, BWL Sports, Will_Gottlieb, he's the GOAT. Shout out to Joey, our producer.
Hey.
Shout out to Casey, our social media coordinator.
Hey, she ate all that.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you right, be good.
Peace.